Good morning, Dudarinos. Happy Friday. We got a cut test today. I realized I have never done a cut test with the baby Banter. I know this is an older release, not super old, but everyone knows about it by now. And this is still a really great little kind of fifth pocket sort of knife. Now, I have, since I bought this baby Banter, gotten a few knives that I think are a little bit better for a fifth pocket carry, like the Spyderco Little Native Warncliffe. I think that beats the baby Banter by a little bit, and a few others, but can't beat the price is the thing. Let me back into my spot here. You guys back into your parking spots always? I always back into my parking spots every time. I'm not sure why, it's just a habit. I mean, it's easier to, it's easier when you're leaving. You just pull out straight. Anyways, so the baby Banter here, I think this is a really great fifth pocket carry, especially if you're on a little bit of a budget. I mean, full finger grip on this, full 4-finger grip on this guy. Get your pointer finger all the way out to the tip. It's a nice kind of spear pointish, drop pointish blade. Typically for small knives, I like a Warncliffe or sheep's foot. But this is a pretty low tip. This should be I know it is already, but it's a pretty good utility cutter. This is the red version. It came with ivory G10 handle scales, but I put these on. These are from Unlocked Composites. These are textured carbon fiber scales that are really, really nice, and they're contoured. It actually improves the ergonomics on this knife significantly, and these scales are only like 45 bucks. Really, really, really good upgrade for the baby Banter. Highly recommend these. I'll put a link to them in the description if you guys are interested. I wish the D10 on this was a little bit snappier, but it's not bad. I can fail it for sure. But, give it a meaningful flick, and it's not really a problem. Reverse flick is good. The blade steel here is Nitro V, which CVV usually does a pretty good job with. I have put an edge on this, so it's not factory. And let's see how it cuts, baby. Let's get on out there. All right, here we go. CVV baby Banter in Nitro V blade steel, sharpened by myself, wearing Unlocked Composites textured carbon fiber scales. Let's freaking do it. Let me show you the edge here. Nice and sharp, ready to be tested to its full pushed to its full limitations. I'm glad it's Friday, dudes. Alright, regular thickness cardboard. Let's see how she cuts. Going with the grain. This is a pretty short blade. I think it's around 1.5 inches of cutting edge. In fact, I can tell you exactly right now. No, 2 inches of cutting edge. So 2 inches of cutting edge, not the best for breaking down cardboard. It's easy to slip out of your cut, especially since this is not sheep's foot or Warncliffe kind of blade. Also, with this particular knife, since there is a choke-up spot without a nub like Spyderco uses, you need to make sure your finger is kind of pressed up against where the edge termination is, or the cardboard is going to slip into that sharpening choil, finger choil area, and you'll get snagged up and it'll stop your slice. Triple thickness cardboard, going with the grain, not too bad. Going through it pretty easily. Against the grain. A little bit harder, but we're getting nice clean cuts. This knife has got thin blade stock, thin measurement behind the edge. It's pretty slicey. Not the sliciest blade I've ever tested, but definitely pretty slicey. Let's do some utility cuts. This is a drop point, like I said, so not the greatest for utility cuts, but it does have a nice low tip, as you can see there. So it should do pretty well. Let's see. Yeah. You're not really raising your wrist up super high either. Really nice. Your pointer finger gets right up down there on the spine towards the tip, putting pressure into your cuts. Feels good, man. Feels good for utility cutting. Let's try a little bit of a curvy cut going around radiuses and such. If you're cutting out templates or whatever you're doing, this knife will definitely make some turns. No bunching up. Did pretty good on that. Let's see where our edge is at. It's still cutting. I definitely noticed a difference though. Still cutting pretty cleanly. I did notice that the cardboard had definitely dulled it. Let's move on. Let's cut up some leather. Let's cut up this glove. We're down to just the fingers on this one. As you can see, just the fingies. As we get to this part of the glove, there is more layers that you're cutting through actually. So keep that in mind. Kind of a half glove, you know, if you don't care about the rest of your hand, just your fingers, you can maybe make yourself one of these types of gloves. All right, we roll it up and we see how it goes through. Pretty good. A couple little back and forth sawing motions to get all the way through, but seems to slice well. Nice clean cuts. Let's try one down at the fingertips. Yeah, I mean, you know, it's a short edge, it's a short blade. So I feel like if it was longer, this would this part of the test would go much better. I mean, the same with all the tests actually. You know, the less edge you have, the less it's gonna cut. You know, so you know, this is really a kind of a backup knife in my eyes. Kind of a fifth pocket carry, you know, something kind of, or you know, if you want something really nice and light, just for you know, going on a jog. I used to carry this knife a lot when I would walk the dog. Let's try some strap. Now, there's no way it's going to go all the way through because, well, I guess it technically could. The cutting edge is basically the same length as the strap itself. Same width. So let's see. Nope. A little less than halfway through. I kind of expected it to do a little better. Just trying to get it all the way through. Alright, let's try again. Nope. A little bit even less that time. Let's try the rope. Usually if knives don't do good on the strap, they're probably not going to do good on the rope either. This is polypropylene rope. It's a really tough, very tough stuff. Hard for knives to get through. Yep, we did not go all the way through the first time. Let's try again on the same spot, and we got through. All right. Not horrible. 2 tries, not awful. I've tested knives that wouldn't get through it at all. And this next one's giving us a little more trouble. I think we had like 3 or 4 tries on that one. And let's give it one more shot. Yeah, not happening. But the good news is I didn't really notice any hot spots as I'm squeezing this knife very hard, you know, trying to get it to cut through this rope. I didn't notice any hot spots whatsoever. I mean, really zero. Now these contoured carbon fiber scales do make the ergonomics a bit better than the G10 that it comes with. But even the G10 is still really comfortable. It's just, you know, these scales are so nice. Yeah, just really, really comfortable. Really highly recommend them. So our edge has suffered. Our edge has suffered quite a bit. Now, I don't have very many knives in Nitro V, and I honestly can't really compare them to compare this knife to other knives in Nitro V because I don't really own that many, and they're all Civivs. I don't think I own any knives in Nitro V that aren't Civivs. So it's a little bit hard for me to judge against other knives, but I can say I wished that the edge had lasted a bit longer. Let's cut some wood just because it's the new thing that we're doing in these videos. We're going to do a little bit of wood carving from now on. It's just kind of fun, you know. I don't know how good of a test it really is, but you can kind of see how well it's biting into the wood. And, you are dulling the edge a bit too. So I think we'll probably do this after the rope, which is really the last test I usually do. So we'll do the wood very last, and then we'll cut the paper and see how the edge did after all that. Let me know if you guys think of a better way to do this for testing purposes. I'm kind of just messing around, honestly. But I need to come up with like a specific order of operations that I do so that the tests are, there's no deviation in the materials that I'm cutting or the length of time cutting, because I want these tests all to be, accurate, as accurate as I can make them at least. And there's no variation, from video to video, knife to knife. So a little bit of a chopping motion there. It's a very light knife, so you're not really getting any weight behind it, but you're not going to be chopping with the baby Banter. Just not going to happen, baby. Alright, let's strap her up and see how this Nitro V comes back. It honestly is pretty dull, so I don't know, we'll see. I can't really remember if Nitro V is a steel that straps back very easily or not. I'm guessing it probably is. Most of kind of the mid-range steels do strap back fairly easily in my experience. It's when you get up to the really very hard steels, M390, 20CV, stuff like that. They're a bit harder to strap back just because it's a harder steel. So our edge is definitely better, much better. Still snagging a bit, as you can see right there somewhere, kind of like halfway on the edge. Definitely better. Still not great though. Definitely still not great. I'm going to do a little bit more strapping and just see. Maybe I just needed a little bit more time on it. And obviously, yeah, I could sit here strapping for an hour, and the edge would get really nice and sharp. But the point of the strapping in the video here in the test is just to see, with just a very small amount of strapping, how quickly we can get the edge back. So we'll just do a little bit more. I frequently get asked what type of strapping compound I use. So on the rough side of the strap, I use just the regular green block of compound that came with my strap when I ordered it. I got it off Amazon. If you're interested, let me know. I'll send you the link to it. And then on the other side, on the smooth side, I use some of Lacey's homemade strapping emulsion, strapping compound. And I really like it. It works great. So hit her up on Instagram. She is at Cutting Lace EDC, all one word, no spaces. I'll put that in the description as well. She makes it, it's homemade and much cheaper than like Gunny Juice and those kind of store-bought ones. And it works really good. So if you're interested, hit her up. So the extra little bit of strapping helped a little bit, not really very much. I don't know, I'm a little disappointed in how this Nitro V did. And also the coating has worn off on the tip a little bit. I think that was from the utility cutting, dragging the tip through this wood block underneath the cardboard that I'm using. I kind of expected it to wear off at some point. I didn't think it would quite that easily. The rest of it's fine though. It's just the tip. So overall, ergonomically, very, very good. It's a small knife that feels like a much bigger knife in hand. It's plenty slicey, thin behind the edge, thin blade stock. Carries very well, nice, small, light. Looks great. I wish the edge retention was a bit better. I don't know if that's typical for Nitro V or if it's typically a little bit better. I'm just not sure, but you can see that we were cutting paper nicely before the testing, and afterwards not so much. So do what you will with that information. Thanks for watching, folks. I love you. Please like the video before you bounce out today, and I will see you soon. Adios.